And at the moment, probably the biggest undervalue in the real estate marketplace is in Melbourne, followed by Perth, whereby your pricing power takes you further. Welcome to the Urban Property Investor. I'm your host, Sam Saggers, here to help you crack the code of real estate wealth. Today's show, value hunting. Yes, how do we crack the code of finding value in the real estate marketplace? Of course, welcome back, regulars. Play the program in double speed, get your life back. Just realized I'm wearing a scruffy shirt. It's not ironed, but hey, generally people listen through their ears and don't watch podcasts, but I do appear on YouTube at times with this podcast. So I don't know, maybe I should stop and start again, but no, let's keep going. We never know how these podcasts go until we get to the end. I am your scruffy host, Sam Saggers, and a big part of my job is simply sharing information on economics, on real estate, helping people understand what they can do in the real estate community, in the real estate marketplace. But of course, all the episodes are done are lessons on real estate, so feel free to go back in time. But I tell you what, podcasting in summer is not an easy job. It is a sweat fest, and I feel sweaty. But I hope you're enjoying your holidays. I hope you're having a nice time. A lot of people holiday at this time of year, so shout out to you if you're having some fun holidaying and scooting about. Good for you. Hopefully you're educating yourself through your break and doing some pods and reading some books and taking some time to work on you. I think the holiday period is always a good time to reflect and take stock. But let's talk about value hunting. Real estate has value points, and really there are some ways to analyze value when it comes to real estate. I'm always trying to find undervalued real estate marketplaces, and I love investing in them. If you can identify a suburb with really good property prices, good rental returns, and the potential for growth, there's obviously a lot of upside for investors. So value hunting is a bit of a skill set, but it is driven primarily off two principles: the principle of price and the principle of benefit. In real estate, value really is divided into two elements: price, which is obviously what you pay, and lifestyle, which is the benefit of real estate. What lifestyle benefit does the real estate hold? And that is really its utility, its use. Lifestyle benefits can be a big house. It's a huge house. It's got a lot of rooms. It's got a lot of lifestyle or use benefits. It could be a value proposition of a duplex, two properties on one title. It has dual use, and so it has a lot of value. But equally, lifestyle value can be a location that people want to live and use, and the utility of the suburb is very nice. It's got a lot of parks and green space or beaches. So real estate is often valued on its price or its use, and that's where we have to extract value from if we're hunting for value. Now, understanding price value, or to understand price value and find and hunt a underpriced place, we can use what is known as pricing power parity. Wow, did you just hear that? That's my other computer. You can hear pricing power you can look for what is known as pricing power parity. Understanding pricing power parity is basically an economic principle that allows you to compare the price levels of a good or a service in a different region or country. The principle suggests that an identical good or service should actually cost the same everywhere once you adjust for the local income differences. Now, the best way to understand pricing power parity is Big Mac economics. In theory, a Big Mac should cost the same across the entire globe. However, as we know, you could go to one country where your $5 gets you one Big Mac, and you could go to a second country and your $5 could actually buy you two Big Macs. And so this is the concept of purchasing power parity. A house in one location might cost twice as much for the same house in an identical location for the identical house, but just in another place. And so this disparity of obviously price arises because of all sorts of reasons: supply and demand, local market trends, and so forth. But when we're hunting value, we're looking for pricing power parity. For example, quite often the easiest parity example is often you research the Sydney market, you go, okay, for 1.5 million, I can get a 3-bedroom house 20 kilometers from the city centre of Sydney. In Brisbane, I could get a house for $750,000 25 kilometers from the centre of Brisbane. Pricing power parity. I can get two houses for one house in Sydney. And so that's just a loose example. If we were actually to dig into pricing power parity and take the median income of our major top 5 cities, being Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth, and the median dwelling value of a property in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth, we can actually start to find where the parity points are. So I think the easiest way to find parity is where, if we use Sydney as the benchmark, Sydney's median dwelling value is $1.25 million. So that is our Big Mac. How many Big Macs can we get in other places using pricing power when we compare it to Sydney? So if we were to take the median income and the median price for Melbourne or Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth, for one property in Sydney, you can get 1.61 properties in Melbourne. You can get 1.52 properties in Brisbane. You can get 1.58 properties in Adelaide, and you can get 1.59 properties in Perth. So for the same Big Mac, in theory, you can get 1.61 Big Macs in Melbourne compared to that of Sydney. Now, that gives us a little hint of where value or where there is an undervalue, which we're hunting for. And at the moment, probably the biggest undervalue in the real estate marketplace is in Melbourne, followed by Perth, whereby your pricing power takes you further. And so if we were to then use the same principle and go, well, I'm actually going to compare a Big Mac in Adelaide, being a house in Adelaide, and a Big Mac in Melbourne, being a house in Melbourne, or a dwelling in Adelaide and a dwelling in Melbourne, we can actually get 1.02 dwellings in Melbourne compared to that of Adelaide. Pricing power parity. We get an extra little bit of Big Mac by actually going to Melbourne. So we can see there's an undervalue in that macro marketplace. Obviously, this concept can be applied using the Paddington effect, where effectively we look for suburbs that are like for like, same income profile, same market profile, same socioeconomic profile, and same desire for housing profile. We can look for the pricing power disparity or parity in the marketplace. And of course, the Paddington effect, which I've spoken about before, is a really simple effect. It's just like in in Brisbane, there's a suburb called Paddington. In Sydney, there's a suburb called Paddington. They basically have the same socioeconomics. They're pretty old character heritage suburbs in their own right. They are both considered great places to own real estate, but there is a pricing power disparity with the two marketplaces. And so you can work out where the undervalue is using that concept. We're looking for opportunities, hidden gems in the marketplace by using this theory or formula. Now, it can't be used in isolation, because when you are investing in an undervalued marketplace that you just shop on price, you may not get a benefit from. Price doesn't equal benefit. And so a benefit in real estate is generally the utility of the real estate, what the location has to offer, and of course what the dwelling has to offer. But if we are primarily trying to hunt an undervalued market is a place, not a property, not to be confusing, but we're not going to hunt the actual asset in today's lesson on this podcast from your scruffy podcaster. So we're going to be value hunting a place. And of course, if we understand PPP, pricing power parity, we can identify obviously a hidden underpriced place. But equally, we then have to go, does that place have a competitive use, the utility value of the suburb or the location? And that's where we have to lean into understanding geo arbitrage. Now, geo arbitrage involves leveraging differences in living costs and incomes across locations to maximize investment, or for really the people who use those places, for them, the humans that live in those suburbs, they also identify these suburbs as little hotspots by effectively understanding of their lifestyle benefits. So for an investor in real estate, an investor might choose to earn a high income in a city, but invest where property prices are much cheaper, and take their buying power of their high income and use that to fund a low or a cheaper investment. We all get that principle. But alternatively, for a home buyer, that home buyer as an individual might earn a high income in a CBD, but actually live in a more affordable city edge suburb that has incredible lifestyle value and has the benefit of beaches, of affordability, has the benefit of lifestyle. But for that individual that has a high income city income, they might now be able to work from home. And so if we understand geo arbitrage, we can actually find hidden gems in the marketplace. Lifestyle geo arbitrage. Lifestyle geo arbitrage. That's really the use of real estate. The use. Why would someone live somewhere? So individuals basically looking to stretch their lifestyle opportunities might move to a more affordable location while maintaining work in a premier location of earning capacity. Now, a simple example would be a professional earning a high income in Melbourne through the financial system there may actually earn a Melbourne CBD professional income, but relocate to, for example, the Surf Coast or Geelong and work a hybrid role where they work a few days from home and a few days from work. And of course, they have a lot lower living cost in the Surf Coast, in Torquay, in Armstrong Creek, in those type of places. But they get the lifestyle benefit of beautiful beaches. And so the professional now brings a high disposable income in and matches that with a lifestyle. And of course, this creates an uplift of value eventually for those marketplaces because you're bringing outside money into a suburb and pushing up the value. So for home buyers, they look for lifestyle. Where can they raise their kids? Where can they spend the next 20 years, which is going to be beautiful? People don't want to just live in a horrible suburb. People aspire to live in a much better environment. So certainly through the digital age, lifestyle geo arbitrage is now a big driver of real estate success. And of course, to find both PPP and lifestyle geo arbitrage, you obviously need to do market research, analyze things like affordability indexes, compare local incomes to prices, review obviously infrastructure projects, what's going to make an area more appealing, but also find those factual drivers of lifestyle appeal like beaches. And you also obviously want to primarily focus on those feeder cities where you can be a hybrid worker or where hybrid workers can actually, leverage their CBD incomes to a lifestyle precinct a little bit further away. And in general, the rule we consider is 125 kilometer radius from any major CBD. So that allows for an uplift of value for some of those feeder regional cities. And we've seen this over and over again. And I've made a lot of money out of basically lifestyle geo arbitrage and pricing power parity through Newcastle. Newcastle is a great city. It's a feeder city into Sydney. And it basically, you could at a point get 2 Big Macs for 1 Big Mac. One Sydney Big Mac got you 2 Newcastle Big Macs. And again, you go, well, okay, is there a use or a lifestyle arbitrage for the Newcastle market over a pretty ordinary suburb in Sydney? And you go, well, yes, there is. And so your lifestyle geo arbitrage, your use of the neighborhood, basically is the investment. And so it's a great way to analyze real estate and find those hidden gems. And of course, if we look at the last 3 years, we can see that lifestyle geo arbitrage has really driven success for a lot of precincts. Byron Bay, average median price is 1.545 million. The median price of Kiama, there's my diary again. It's going off. The median price of a Kiama 1.5. Like, these are lifestyle arbitrage places. Surf Coast down in Geelong, 1.3, lifestyle arbitrage place. Noosa, 1.29, lifestyle arbitrage place. Bowral, 1.140 million, lifestyle arbitrage. Gold Coast, 1,070,000, lifestyle arbitrage for Brisbane. Kingscliff, similar story around that northern New South Wales precinct, lifestyle arbitrage. Sunshine Coast, lifestyle arbitrage. Wollongong, lifestyle arbitrage. And so you get the picture. Adelaide Hills, lifestyle arbitrage. Geelong, lifestyle arbitrage. Newcastle, lifestyle arbitrage. So at a macro level, they're just names, but some of those places are also basically suburbs and towns. So again, you can see that there is evidence of price impact of PPP and basically lifestyle geo arbitrage coming together. It already exists. This is not a theory. There's evidence of the theoretical conversation I'm having today. Just think about Byron Bay. So how do we find the next Byron Bay? Well, it's certainly difficult, but it's possible. And again, that is why I always encourage investment in affordable yet highly livable marketplaces, because of PPP and geo arbitrage. All right, that was such a tongue twister. I hope it came out okay. I'm going to leave it there, and you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Property Investor. To never miss an episode, make sure you subscribe to the podcast on your favorite app or on YouTube. I would love it if you could give the show a rating and share it with your friends and family. In between episodes, you can always keep in touch with me by connecting on social media over Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Until we meet again on the next episode of the Urban Property Investor, take care and bye for now.